Okay, this is something I've been wanting to try for bow drill fire. There's a traditional technique for bow drill fire that involves basically a stepped ledge fireboard, where you have one part of the fireboard a little bit higher and then a little ledge that comes down a little bit lower. The idea being that your spindle goes into this little divot here, and your char pile will build up on the lower part of the ledge. It's a traditional technique. I know that it was at least used by Native Americans. Possibly has the advantage that in a really moist environment, or where the ground is covered with wet snow, that completely keeps the char pile totally off the ground. The ground is out of the question. You can even just make your char pile, make an ember, and then build a fire on top of this. You don't even have to move it. So as you can see, I've made a divot there. I burned it in. The fireboard here is ash. I'm just taking advantage of the fact that I've got this piece of wood that just happens to have a chainsaw cut that makes a ledge like that. I don't know how Native Americans would have really made their ledge cut. This is an unknown pine. I know it's pine. It's got a little bit too much resin in it, probably, for bow drill fire, but some of it's white and light, which should work. And just spun it on the ash a little bit and got a fair amount of smoke. And I'm going to give this technique a try. Okay, what I didn't show here was whittling out the notch. And I must say, whittling out a notch in a solid ledge fireboard is a whole lot harder than cutting a little notch in the edge of a softwood fireboard. Gonna give it a try here, give it a few spins and see what I can get from this. The whole thing's a little bit wobbly. Spindle's a rather large one. Seems to be spinning fairly smoothly. Getting a little whiff of smoke. Getting a lot of smoke, and this is pine, so I expect a lot of smoke a long time before I get combustion. All right, there's a lot of smoke coming off that char pile there. See if it keeps going. Looks like it is. So, looks like I've at least got the beginnings of an ember there. That's a pine spindle on ash fireboard. I'm going to let that build for a minute and then get back to it. Okay, I've let the ember pile just grow a little bit with just the slightest encouragement of wafting some air into it. I'm going to gently add some wood shavings on top. Yeah, I know that's not exactly an entirely traditional fire starting material, but it was what I have. I'm going to just sort of blow it into a fire here. See how this goes. Right in the spot where it is. There you go. Fire on a step ledge fireboard. Unknown pine. Spindle ash fireboard. Wood shavings. That's all.